The Youth Climate Dialogues are actually a very interesting series of conferences in which young people can discuss their views on climate change and what they think is important to do in order to prevent this phenomenon from destroying our planet and to not only save ourselves but help the future generations.
I would like to know, what do you do to improve your impact on global warming and climate change?
We plant trees. Yeah, we plant trees. Usually, we rarely use cars. We usually biogas to cook. We don't use firewood anymore, or charcoal. Yeah, that's it.
We prepared some material with the students. They had to make some researches on climate change, especially in Switzerland, because they wanted to give an idea to the students in Uganda what the problems and the causes are here in Switzerland and also the consequences. For example, on the melting of glaciers, on the fact that in Switzerland the impact of climate change is much higher than in other countries, for example, due to the mountains presence.
Well, I found really interesting the fact that we learned a lot of many things that I did not know about before. For example, I did a research on glaciers in Switzerland, so this gave me the opportunity to understand what's happening in Switzerland and how glaciers are affected by climate change.
As you may know, global warming is affecting the world in many different ways. But today we would like to concentrate on what's going on in Switzerland. Global warming is affecting the Swiss Alps in many ways, especially in terms of their melting. The melting of glaciers is in fact an additional climate change issue for a country located in the Alps like Switzerland. Glaciers are large masses of ice located in the mountains, usually above 2,500 meters. Unfortunately, because of global warming, many of them are disappearing.
How it was prepared, it was a little bit different depending on the school choices and the students' choices. Some prepared some videos, some prepared some PowerPoint presentations, and of course this material on posters, and this material was exchanged among the students in the different countries in order to better prepare for the dialogues.
So what solution has been taken to alleviate the effects of global warming?
In Uganda, two solutions are being used. There is the mitigation solution and adaptation solution. Under mitigation solution, there is carbon reduction, where there is afforestation, where planted to reduce the carbon in the environment. There is also the students of Makerere University of Uganda have made a car that doesn't use fuel. It prevents, it reduces the level of carbon production in the environment. In the adaptation solutions, there is water harvesting and irrigation, where we see a woman harvesting water on her rooftop. She's harvesting rainwater, which she later uses for irrigation, as you can see below. And then there is also drought-tolerant crops and pastures. We see during the dry season, farmers plant drought-tolerant crops, which they use, which helps them during the dry season. And then also pastures for the animals. They have pastures for the animals during the dry season.
Their projects were very interesting because it's something that we're not used to doing. We don't go outside of school. For us, school is theory, and for them it's practical experience which helps them in their daily life too. So that was very interesting. The statements on the conditions of their land were also very interesting. The solutions, just the fact of having a cold shower instead of a warm shower, first seemed something so absurd, and it can make the difference if everybody makes small steps like they do. We can all get together and get some results.
I was amazed by the fact that it seems like they worry more about climate change, while we don't really consider climate change as relevant as they do.
Hello, my name is Alex. I would like to know if this is part of your school program in every school, or is it just a special thing that you do in your school? And if you feel proud of what you do I feel really proud that there's somebody who actually tries to do something for the environment, because with us it's a bit forgotten.
Hi, this activity is only part of our school, but we are trying to extend it into other schools because it's better if we teach other schools the different agricultural practices we do, because alone we can do so little, but together we can achieve a lot.
Are there any noticeable changes in biodiversity in your country that have contributed to climate change?
We know that climate change influences the habitat and environment very quickly, and this means that animals have to adapt to the changes. So an example of parasite that is very affected by the climate change is the thermophile parasite, which thrives in warmer temperatures. And some of these species who change their behavior in warmer temperatures then influence other species and can cause problems. For example, the thermophile parasite influences the sprouts and can cause problems it can endanger it.
I think it is extremely important to talk about these problems and issues and the causes that bring us to these consequences with young people, with children and with young people. Usually they are always very, very concerned, much more than adults, and they are much more sensitive. They realize how big this problem is, and the fact that they are so sensitive will stay with the rest of their life.
Are people aware and sensitive to global warming problems?
Most people are aware. It's a yes and a no. So it depends basically on your education background and also your access to information and your age. Everybody in this room knows about climate change. And it's mainly because of our education and our age. Everyone here is above 16. And it's also due to the fact that we are exposed to various books and the internet. Now the people who are most affected and also are most sensitive are farmers, the food growers who are in the rural areas, because that's where the land is. Now they may hear about it over the radio or read about it in the newspapers, but then they do not have the money, for instance, to start up an irrigation plant or buy the drought-resistant seeds or leave their firewood and start using biogas.
I knew something already beforehand, but this complemented all my previous knowledge, and it helped me to understand that we all have an impact on the environment. It's not just something that happens outside of us, but it's something that happens inside of us.
Everyone can take a part in this program. You could do anything. You could stop littering, you could conserve energy, it could help us a lot, and at the end of the day, together we can stop this climate change, together we can make a difference.